I want to, this is kind of a long, not a long read, but this is something that I saw today that I thought was super fucking cool. And I want to get your opinion on it too. What year were you born? Like 80?
88.
88? Okay. So this is something with people that were born between 85 and 95.
Okay.
I was born in 91. So it says people born between 85 and 95 are the most unique generation of all time.
Let me stop you right there. You damn right.
Right. I agree.
All right, go ahead.
It says they're in between two generations, the one before the internet and technology took over and the generation after. The generation before us was old school and believed in working hard. The generation after us believes in working smart. And then the generation before us can be scammed with simple emails asking for money and offering love. The generation after us knows it's better to have 4 emails, one for serious stuff, one for social media, one for financial transactions, and one for experiments for things you don't trust. We are the generation that knows traditions and question it, picking from it what makes sense to us. The generation before us knew no questions. The generation after us knows no tradition. We are the gap between the industrial age and the internet age. We understand both sides from experience. We should be running the world. The old guys don't understand what's going on anymore, and the new guys don't fully understand where what's going on came from.
Damn. That's deep.
I love that.
Yeah. Like that's some deep shit right there.
I love that. And ever since, you know, I became kind of aware of like social pressures and like all this kind of stuff. I'm talking 20, 21 years old. Once you start to become like a fully functioning adult, like not partying all the time as much anymore,
Right.
and like trying to see more of the world and maybe, letting in a little more information and stuff.
Yeah, stepping into that adult world.
I've always thought that our generation is the most important and best generation. And like every generation thinks they're the best generation, but we actually have an argument. Cause like for me, I grew up playing outside. Like I was
all the time.
I was born in 91. I had dial-up internet until I
Yep.
moved out when I was 18. I played outside. We were in the country. I had to ask my friends to make me mixed CDs.
Oh my god, I remember. I made some.
Right.
Dude, LimeWire.
Yep. LimeWire broke my computer multiple times.
Oh, hell yeah.
And
always got re-downloaded, though.
Oh, yeah. And then, so there was LimeWire, and then there was FrostWire.
FrostWire. Yep.
But yeah, like, and we're the generation that still understands working hard, putting value into things, time equaling money and kind of things like that. In the new generation, like that said, they don't understand tradition and they don't understand how we got to this place.
Yeah, dude, I remember like going to the movie theaters and stuff and like hanging out for a few hours afterwards.
Yep.
Like
in the parking lot and shit, the Dollar Theater out there. Yep.
Yeah. Was that the one? No. Was that the
Behind
one by
Kohl's?
the mall?
Behind Kohl's.
Behind Kohl's?
Oh, yeah, the one by the mall was even before that.
Yeah, by the mall, but they had the arcade in there.
Yep.
Dude, the Simpsons game and shit like that. Like, dude, I used to have a blast there.
Right.
It's not like that anymore.
Dude, me and Jerry used to go to multiple dollar movies a day. Not every day, but like we had a Tuesday date night.
Okay.
Me and him, and we'd go to Long John Silver's, and we'd go see a dollar movie or a couple dollar movies.
Right.
And that was our entertainment. And that was all we needed.
Yeah.
I remember when the iPhone came out, and I made fun of it so hard.
They're still shit.
No, they're not. But I'm like any smartphone. I was like, this is dumb. There's no physical buttons. Nobody's going to want this. It's going to fail. Like,
shit.
But yeah, I just.
It didn't.
Right. They have a lot of my money. But I'm just a firm believer that this generation is the generation that can potentially change things. And I'm excited to see where, like, what our age group does in 20 years.
Yeah.
When we're all between 40 and 50, and 60 maybe in that area.
It'd be crazy to see.
And we're actually the ones running businesses. We're running governments. We're running, we're the mayors, the governors, and we can actually make changes and see things from both sides.
Yeah.
And I think that's super important.
I agree. I agree for sure. 100%.
It's just wild, how different perspective is on both sides.
Yeah.
We're right in the middle, and I get where you're coming from, but you're dumb. I get where you're coming from, but you're dumb.
Yeah.
And it was something I thought about a couple days ago, which can tie into this, but it all comes down to perspective. Everything is perspective.
Mm-hmm.
The generation before us didn't have perspective because there wasn't any perspective to be had.
No, they just did what they knew was best.
Your day-to-day is your day-to-day, and that's it, end of story. And the generation after us focuses everything on the perspective.
Mm-hmm.
How's this going to look? How's this going to look? But then it's...
What happens if I do this?
Right, but then it's not authentic because they're just going for that look or that reaction or whatever. And again, we're right in the middle seeing both sides of it.
Yeah.
So I just wanted to kind of get your opinion on that.
I like that.
How do you feel being, what are you, 31, 32, 31?
Don't be adding years to me.
Hey, man.
Shit.
I'm about to be 29 here in 2 months, 3 months.
Yeah.
Wild shit.
But I agree. And I mean, it's nice having both sides of the generation because I'm the same way. I've had a job since I was 16.
Mm-hmm.
I worked a lot of restaurants. I always told myself I never want to go to fast food.
Right.
But I did work restaurants, and then I kind of moved into the whole StarTech thing for 10 freaking years.
Right. Was it 10 years?
Damn near.
I thought it was
9
8
something.
or something. Damn.
Yeah.
Still.
A long time.
I was there for right under 4, and that was plenty for me.
Mm-hmm. So it's nice because to have that hard work and everything, because everywhere that I go, I always want to move up and be a better person and things like that. But that's how I've always been taught. But being up in management and things like that, and then seeing some of these,
the older generation,
the younger generation, and seeing their work ethic, is frustrating.
Yeah.
I feel like the people are probably, I don't want anybody to take this the wrong way whatsoever. This is very hard to put into words.
Let's go. This is what we're here for.
But I feel like, depending on the workplace as well, I kind of see it in mine. But with the older generation that's been there a while, they kind of get the entitlement, is how they feel.
Sure.
And then you've got the people, the newer generation, that are literally just there for a job.
And they're also entitled.
Yeah, but they have, no work ethics.
Right.
They have no respect.
Right. That's a big thing.
Dude, and it frustrates the hell out of me.
Well, I think the reason, and I don't know, but I think the underlying reason of them having no respect, and these are obviously all generalizations, but is the fact that you can make money without having an actual 9-to-5 job now.
Yeah.
Our Patreon. People get fucking a ton of money from YouTube or just
very true.
Anything digital, online. You can sell artwork now way easier. You can make crafts at home.
Yep.
And things
music
like that.
Industry and things like that.
Music industry is huge. You can upload your own music now. You don't need a label or anything. And I think that has kind of made them ungrateful in the sense of okay, now I'm working at McDonald's, but I don't need this job.
Yeah.
Whether they have something in the background or not, they're just it's not important and things like that, to where the generation before us was super thankful for any job that they could get. And I think our generation as well.
Yeah. I mean, I look at it that I got shit to pay.
Right.
A lot.
I like to live comfortably, man. I like to live comfortably. I don't like to pinch pennies and stuff like that. But at the same time, to be able to live that lifestyle, you got to put in the work.
Yeah, and that's one of the biggest reasons why I left StarTech.
Right.
Like, the biggest reason. Like, I mean, I just got into recruiting there, so it's not like I didn't like my job, but it was just pay. Like, I needed to do something better and get better because I'm doing better in my life everywhere else.
Right.
I need to continue to go down that path in everything that I do.
But I think another big part of the difference here, and this will be kind of the last thing I mention in the sense of the difference of generations. I can't really speak to the generation before us in this aspect. I feel like the generation before us just kind of took an order and was like, cool, I'll do it. Like, yes, sir, yes, ma'am, did it, you know, whatever. The generation after us takes the minimal information that they think they need, and then they go do their thing.
Yeah.
Me personally, and I think a lot of people in our generation, I know you as well, when they tell me something, when like they give me an answer, they're like, oh, well, you have to do this and this and this. I ask follow-up questions. I say, okay, I get that, but like, what if this happens? Okay. But what if I do this?
It's all the what ifs.
Why would we do that instead of this? Oh, okay, that makes sense. And yeah, so I dive in a couple questions deeper than most people. And that, I don't know if that just comes back to like the training background or what, but that just gives me more of a full understanding to the job in and of itself.
Yeah.
So like, I call account managers that I work with for our customers very frequently, and I'm already telling them, like, hey, the margin on this order is only 4%, but if we take the shipping off and, like, blah, blah, blah. And they're like, you don't have to do that. And I'm like, I know, but I like to do it. And I got that.
And it gets you the full understanding of
right.
it.
And I got that information because I'd say, like, hey, Mike, you know, I see this, but what does this mean? And he's like, well, that actually means this, but you don't really have to worry about it, which I wouldn't because it's not really my scope.
Right.
But at the same time, it's something to look out for. And yeah, just a better overall knowledge. And I know you're the same way with that.
Dude, I love to learn about companies.
I just like all the details.
Yeah.
As much as possible.
Have them. I have to have them. I'm not the yes man either.
Right.
I will challenge the shit out of you.
Right.
If I don't like it, I'm not going to be like, no, dude, screw you.
Right.
It's going to be like, no, I mean, why would we do this when we can do this? Like, I'm giving out the options and providing the what ifs as well. But I've gotten congratulated multiple times in my current place because they're like, wow, you know, it's thanks for challenging. Absolutely.
Dude, I had one of our agents call me this week. She's been working for this company for 12 years. And August 5th was my 1 year at this company. She's like, hey, how do I do this? And I'm like, oh, well, you got to do this and this and this. She's like, oh, I can never remember that. Like, I don't know how you remember all this. I'm like, I'm
just good at it.
Right. No, but even with the current job, like I've also trained a lot of people, which a lot of us are getting roped into training now because of the corona shit. But even before that, they were pulling me to actually train people and train new people because of my background.
Okay.
And then now I got elected to do onboarding, which is new accounts and things like that to set them all up. And I didn't really ask for that. They said, hey, would you be willing to do it? And me being me, I'm like, fuck yeah, because that's more information that I get to learn. I regret it now because it's hella annoying. But
I bet.
But it's still cool to be able to know all this because this job, the onboarding, was somebody else's job. And that was their only thing that they did. So now I'm like doing 2.5 jobs, basically.
Damn.
But I like it. I enjoy it.
It keeps you busy, too.
Yeah. And it just keeps my mind wandering. And that's one thing I've noticed with my jobs is if I can't move up or I get very knowledgeable in the position to where there's not much more to learn.
That you can learn. Yeah.
I get very bored and I start to drift off.
Yeah.
And then I look for a new job.
That's understandable, though.
But I always want to better myself and things like that. And if I hit a roadblock, I'm like, I need to find something new.
Yep. I feel it.